Hi everyone, it's Katina. So today's recipe is I'm not going to say that it's healthy per se, but it's not that sweet. It's a banana bread, chocolate banana bread that I've done. It's taken I don't know how many years that I've done this, but this week I've done twice the same recipe, and it's super nice. It's super affordable as well when you need to use some too ripe bananas. So I have here the two bananas that I need, and we're going to mash this. You need one egg that you're going to beat also. I put out two bowls, so one for the wet ingredients and one for the dry ingredients that we're going to mix together. Meanwhile, you're going to turn on the oven at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is the loaf container that I'm going to use. This one is dirty. I used yesterday and I didn't wash it, so this is the size of the loaf that we're going to use. Now, I have never doubled, I think, the recipe. I could have yesterday, but I was too tired, so I've done one recipe. It was plenty. So we have that. We have our egg. We have the measuring cup here. You need also salt, a pinch of salt. I use as well the baking powder. This is the baking powder. Hold on. Baking powder here. We need 1 teaspoon, but usually I put 2. I don't know why. I figure that it's going to rise a little better. So there. Also, 1/3 of a cup of butter. I'm going to use margarine. I'm going to use this, 1/3 of a cup. It's not a lot of fat, and you have 1 egg, so sorry, it's good. So 1/3 of a cup of margarine that's a little bit softened in the microwave, like a couple of seconds if you want. Now we also have for flour. You need a 1 cup and 1/3 of a cup, so 1 cup and 1/3 of flour. So this is whole wheat flour. So I'm using 1/3 of a cup of this one and a full cup of the regular. Let me show you the regular all-purpose flour. All right, so this is that. By the way, I'm going to put all the ingredients and the quantities in the description box. So this is pretty much all the ingredients. The recipe called for 3 bananas, but 2 big bananas like this one is plenty, I feel. All right, so I'm going to show you how I did the finished product to freeze the slices of bread. Hold on. All right, so this is the finished product, the one that I did yesterday. Very nice slices of banana bread. I forgot that, of course, we're going to put chocolate chips inside. I didn't show you, but I'm going to get it. Hold on. So this is the chocolate chips that I used. This one is dark. So dark chocolate, how do you call it in English? Dark chocolate chips. Chocolate chips, that's it. You can always use, if you prefer, milk chocolate, or there's a semi-sweet. I forgot what the name is in English, but I prefer to have dark chocolate. So, of course, you're going to need a 1/2 cup of this. And what I do is that I mix it in with the dry ingredients. All right, so this is it. Oh, I'm going to show you as well what I do to freeze it. Hold on. So what I've done for yesterday's recipe is to keep the moist of the slices, I slice, of course, individual slices. I put it in wax paper, and then after that, once it's wrapped up, I put it in a plastic bag like this one. So this way you can always take out 1 slice at a time. I have to say that it's probably a lot of calories. It's healthy because it's not that fattening. So instead of the recipe calls for 1 cup of sugar, but I only put a 1/2 cup of sugar. And as for fat, I take 1/3 of a cup of melted margarine. So it's not that bad. So what I've done is line with the parchment paper the container or the plate that we're going to use for the banana bread. And before putting on this layer, I have a thin layer of margarine or butter, so to make sure that it doesn't stick. So I already mashed the potatoes, not the potatoes, the bananas. It's not quite liquidy, but it should be, because it could have been more brown, more ripe, but I actually like this texture more than if the banana is completely brown. So it was like a little bit spotted, and for me it's okay. So we're gonna mash as it becomes almost like a paste, and then we're gonna mix in all the other wet ingredients. So I mixed it up, and there's still some lumps in it, but I don't think it's a problem because it's cooked and mixed in the rest of the wet and dry ingredients. I don't really mind that there's a few lumps here and there. It's actually make more texture for the banana bread. Okay, so we mixed in all the wet ingredients here. So we have the banana and everything else. And then on this bigger bowl, I put in the chocolate chips in with the flour, 2 kinds of flours, and what's it called? The baking powder and baking soda. I don't think that you need baking soda, but I put it anyway, so just in case that it helps with the rising. So I put in a half a cup of chocolate chips, dark chocolate, in the dry ingredients. Now we're going to mix in the two together. So the trick when you mix in the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients is that you cannot overmix. I've read many times over the years, every time that you bake something, whether it's a cake or cupcakes, you have to combine the ingredients without overmixing. Otherwise, if I remember correctly, it becomes too dense, the cake. So you see I'm going slowly, and I'm kind of mixing in without too much mixing. So you combine the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients slowly. And the other day, like when I did it the other cake the other day, I used this kind of spatula instead of my fork. So I'm taking all the ingredients on the edges, and with the banana, it's already very sweet, and add to that the chocolate chips, it's all already sweet. So that's why I'm only using half a cup of sugar. So this is pretty much combined. I'm just gonna, there's still a bit of flour, so I'm gonna mix in with the fork the rest of the flour, and we're going to be ready to put it in the cooking plate. I don't actually mind that there's a little bit of flour that's not quite combined, because I don't want to overmix. So this is pretty much it. So here I'm going to put in slowly the batter. I know that there's a little bit of flour, but it's going to cook anyway, so hopefully, I hope that I didn't undermix. I think it's going to be okay, because I remember this is my third recipe. The first recipe, there was still some flour loose like this, not quite combined with the wet ingredients, but in the oven it's going to cook. So worst case, it's going to be a little bit dry at some places, but I think it's going to be okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take that out, spread it a little bit more. Yeah, it's not supposed to be like this. It's not supposed to be a dry patches like this, but I think it's going to cook anyway. I'm just going to spread it so that it cooks evenly using my fork. Yeah, I should have mixed it a little bit longer, but I think it's going to be okay. Once it's cooked, it's going to rise and it's going to mix in with the rest of the batter, hopefully. But anyway, once it's cooked and sliced, I like to add natural 100% maple syrup. So if there are some dry patches, it's going to correct the situation. So once it's spread out, we're ready to put it in the oven. The oven was preheated at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and I put it for 50 minutes. So again, everything, the information is going to be in the description box. So this is what it looks like. So this is the finished product. We have here the whole loaf, and I'm going to let it sit for maybe an hour or so. I'm going to take it out of the container and put it in. I have to put it in the microwave because the cats can jump on this. So see you later. So this is the finished product. I'm pretty happy with the results. I don't think that it's going to be an issue. The part, you can see that there's a little bit of flour here, but I don't think that it's going to affect the taste of the cake itself. So I'm pretty happy with this, and I'm sure that it's going to be delicious.